Welcome to the BANGover Podcast. I'm Scott Allen. This is Chris Myers. And we're here with a whole new episode. A bunch of bands to talk about. Kind of some of the same that we've been talking about. But
it's all the news that's out there.
I mean, what? These guys are just the ones doing stuff. Yeah. I don't know what to say.
There's a little bit of some new stuff from. We'll get into it, but some different artists,
bands. For real. Yeah, it's been a great week for new releases. Every day I wake up and I'm just like checking. I'm like, is it here? Anything more?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not a lot as far as like new full lengths. It's been kind of a slow 2 weeks, just because we had that huge, the 26th of last month was that big drop. We had,
oh, right, yeah. 3-4 albums.
Yeah. And then there was a lot more, but the 4 that we touched on were some pretty big ones, and then this been just a little dry these past 2 weeks, but I think, the Cannibal Corpse comes out next month, or the end of this month, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's in April.
Yeah. So, I think we're going to start having some more albums drop more consistently. So.
Yeah. It is that time of year. These things always work around like springtime or fall. Like getting ready for the summer or getting ready for Christmas season. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, folks. I'm feeling a little raspy right now. Oh, yeah. But again, we moved this around multiple times, doing different versions of the show. And right now, we're gonna do what we've been doing. If you've listened to the past 2 episodes, we're gonna start off with a little bit of rock and roll news.
Yeah.
Get into some new releases, as well as talk about anniversaries of albums. Like celebrating 30 years of blah blah blah. And then some honorable mentions at the end, talking about some of the fallen heroes.
A few people pass away, so we'll get into the rock and roll news.
That's what we need a soundboard for.
Yeah,
like
drop.
A guitar.
Ozzy drop.
I would say like a guitar solo.
Or,
something. Wild Stallion. Something like that.
So, first up on the docket.
Let's do it.
Soulfly. Max, this hardworking metal individual that we've talked about a lot as far as albums celebrating anniversaries. Yeah, he's in like 8 bands. So it's
he's doing stuff all the time, and he's
or has been. You know what I mean? Like
he must be almost pushing 60 by now.
If Soulfly isn't celebrating an anniversary, Sepultura is, and if that isn't Cannibal Conspiracy is, and if that's not, then he's doing something with his son. And it's just like this guy constantly has shit going on around him.
Where's the new Nail Bomb album?
Or Nail Bomb?
Let's do it.
Jesus,
yeah, let's have that.
There's a lot that this guy has.
Killer Be Killed. You didn't even talk about Killer Be Killed.
So there's a lot that he is touched, so there's always like news and always an anniversary, always something to talk about involving him. So
he's one of the legends,
exactly.
In the rock and roll,
and he's
world,
still working.
In the world of music, if you think about it. He's always working. I think it's just that's what gets him out of bed every day. He's one of those people where it's like he loves the grind. He loves doing it so much that he just keeps, and especially now when he's like been doing it for how long? 40 years. And like at this point, you can call your own shots. You know what I mean? Like, are they on Roadrunner still?
I believe so.
Or is
Let me see.
Sometimes these bands move around, but there's really only 4 metal record labels. We got Relapse. What's the other one? Metal.
Just Nuclear Blast, Relapse.
Yeah. And then
Roadrunner,
Metal Blade. That's it. Yeah. Those are it.
Soulfly's got this new album they're working on. It's a new album with Arthur Rizek who's done Code Orange, Power Trip, and Cavalier Conspiracy. And Max did. This is from Metal Injection, and Max did an interview with Saint Vitus presents Age of Quarantine. And he said the new album is pretty groovy and will hopefully be out later this year. It's full on. I think it's kind of got like the best of all the years. I think it's a compilation Max Cavalera record of the whole 50 years. That's what it feels like. It's got old stuff. It's got middle stuff. It's got very Soulfly vibes. It's got a lot of groove. It's got a lot of fast stuff. We're in the process of finishing it up right now, so hopefully it comes out this year. So, yes, he also added that they flew Rizik out to Arizona to record with them since there's been, quarantines going on and it's throwing a lot of stuff off. So you can go listen to the actual podcast episode on YouTube and go to Metal Injection for that.
Thank you, Metal Injection.
So what do you think of that?
New album? I mean, they used to just work like they work like clockwork. I don't think I'm saying this right. They just always had an album out. It's, always going like every 3 years. I mean, they have so many now, Soulfly. Like, as many as like Sepultura, it feels like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they just like were going at it hard and always like, at one point it was like every year he was coming out with an album. We were like, holy shit, slow down. You know what I mean? I'm excited. Yeah. I love Soulfly. The last album was fucking brutal. I think that was like 2015 was Archangel.
Yeah, it was pretty 2000. Was it 15 or 18? It's been about.
I think it was 15. I can't believe it was 15 because I'm like, what? That was 6 years ago?
Yeah.
And I remember listening to it and it had I love the album artwork on that one. Especially because when you were listening to like the single, that had that weird thing on your phone where if you moved it around, you could see the whole picture. So it's like the album cover, and you can look this up. Soulfly's Archangel, and you could just see like all of it because it's like very Greek god, like hellscape, like it's it was just so cool. Like with a VR thing, that would have been pretty sick. But going back to like just the music itself, I love Soulfly. I know I get a lot of shit from my friends for it. It's one of my only tattoos. And I was planning on getting more. I wasn't going to make this my only tattoo. It's just bad experience with this one. I didn't get the right artist. And I don't know, it costs money and I play drums. And what's more important to me? Yeah. A new cymbal or a new tattoo?
Yeah.
Or probably just
the look or the sound. I mean,
that's what I'm like. Plus, I drive an older car, so it's like I gotta constantly keep up with that. Yeah. So I don't really care about the body art too much, but I'm excited when it comes to Soulfly or anything Max Cavalera. I'm just blown away by how much he's doing. Like it's just fucking.
It's got his son's band, that death metal band we were talking about at the last episode.
And in the beginning of, I guess it was at the end of last year, was The Killer Be Killed, which was huge.
I think they might even have something new coming out too.
Jesus, and that was huge. I'm not sure, he works like Mike Patton. It's just like boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean?
Good for him. Good for Soulfly. I'm excited as well.
And we'll be talking more about
more Max stuff later on, of course.
I'm looking through the notes. I'm like, how much more do we have to talk about?
Yeah.
When it comes to Max Cavalera.
Yeah. Moving on to the next story. A little bit of a sad story, but something to just keep an eye on. Shred guitar icon Jason Becker has been hospitalized, and there's a virtual benefit going on. And this comes from Loudwire, that Jason Becker has been hospitalized because he's been experiencing a shortness of breath and a rapid heart rate, and it's now escalated. And he was diagnosed with ALS more than 30 years ago, and so it's just this disease that's escalated to this point. You know what I mean? So they're having this Shred for Jason Becker virtual concert that's organized by Herman Lee of Dragon Force, who's another Shred guitar master. And they've been running it since March, and it's going to get continued through April. So look into that, and there's going to be basically notable guitarists from around the world doing this fundraiser. And then his mom took to his Twitter to kind of just inform everybody of like the condition and the escalation of it and stuff like that. So just something to, if you're out there and you're a fan of Jason Becker, he's been in other bands like Cacophony and David Lee Roth Band. So he's kind of like this shred master guy. He was playing with Marty Friedman, who played with Megadeth, and we all know the shredding that goes on in that. So just something to keep an eye on and hope for the best with that situation. I haven't really listened to Cacophony, but I'm listening to some David Lee Roth stuff, and I'm aware of Marty Friedman's talent. So
you got to have a badass guitar player to even talk about. Because I mean, who was the last guy he was playing with? Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's just get a mediocre guitar player up in here because it was more about David Lee Roth. Yeah. No, it was about everything.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
For sure. Keep an eye on that if you're a fan of
Oh,
that.
yes. Go and
support
donate. Where can you find it?
It's going to be... So the benefit is actually called Shred for Jason, and if you go to... let's see if the actual website pulls up here. Looks like there's his website. We'll pull it up. Jason Becker's website, which is jasonbecker.com.
There you go.
All right. Moving on to our next story. Some Megadeth news. Let's kick on some Megadeth tracks.
I'm way
So we got music playing in our headphones for all the various news stories, and if we had the rights and stuff, we totally would for our you guys. But we encourage everyone to listen along with all the albums we talk about and go check them out and stuff. So
if you follow, well, you can just type in my name, Scott. I should probably change it. Just type in Scott Allen and see if that pops up. I got to double check on that one.
Yeah, maybe.
But I did make a playlist of all the songs.
Yeah, there's going to be a playlist on Spotify that has all the music, basically, that we're listening to.
And here, to make it easy, if you follow us on Instagram at BANGover Productions.
You can link it?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
I already did it.
All right.
I posted it yesterday, so just go back to the stories.
Yeah.
It's in our stories.
It'll rotate every 2 weeks or so it'll be this constantly rotating list of awesome music.
It's a crazy playlist because when I was putting it together, it was just like metal,
yeah,
hip hop, fucking stoner rock, death metal,
yeah,
and then like I'm going into like we talk about the Butthole Surfers twice on this episode.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert! So that's on there, and then
war,
and then DMX. So
it's that's why it's a kind of eclectic episode. This one,
yeah,
get a little bit of everything. The third story in today's episode.
Is this gonna be something embarrassing to be?
No.
Okay.
Dave has one left. Dave Mustaine has one song left to sing on Megadeth's new album. This comes from Metal Injection, and there's a lot of news that's been about this new Megadeth album and stuff. And I think they still have the drummer from Lamb of God because he was on the last album, I believe. Remember?
Oh yeah, that guy's like a hired gun at this point.
So I think he's coming back.
He has no band. He just goes around filling in and making albums with randos.
Yeah. But according to Dave, he's only got one song left to wrap up vocally before the band moves on to all the background stuff in the songs. So according to him,
okay, go on.
Yeah, thankfully my partner is coming back out of Nashville, and we're going to be commencing on some guitar tracks and some solos and some ear candy to wrap all that up. Excuse me. We got probably about another, I've got one song left to sing and then another song. I've got one sentence that I've got to finish. Other than that, all the vocals are done on this record, and it'll be time to focus on background vocals and the remaining stuff with solos. And as we say, I know I've said it so many times, ear candy for you guys that don't know what that is. It's just what it sounds like. It's sticky, sappy, syrupy crap people put on their records that helps to, I don't know, make the song sound better. When you're thinking about AC/DC, you usually don't think about percussion.
Yeah, it's just like layers of fucking guitars. I listen to the drums quite a bit in Megadeth, but they're never the thing that takes over your focus.
Yeah, I guess that's...
Dude, it's never
So he basically is saying this new album's coming up. We're, wrapping stuff up. I've basically finished all the vocals, and then we're going to lay down the polish on everything. We're going to make everything sound.
But that whole thing was very clickbaity because it was just like,
it's very,
so he's never going to sing ever again?
No, he's got one song left to sing.
I got one song
on the new album.
And then I'm done forever. What is that? Is that what? And you're like, no, we were just finishing up the album. That's all I was saying. I was like, okay, fuck.
They do know how to write headlines, right? I mean, to make I've seen so many that are like, and you can kind of play it in your head either way.
Well, at least it's not like really shitty where you click on it and it's never what you wanted. Like those movie trailers where they show you that screenshot and you're like, what fucking movie is that?
Yeah.
And they never talk about it in the 25-minute video. At least Metal Injection gets to the point, and they didn't really mislead you. You probably just read it wrong.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, later this year, we're possibly getting a Megadeth album.
do you listen to like any recent? Have you listened to any recent Megadeth
I listened
albums?
to the last one that had Lamb of God. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but that dude, the drummer.
How did I forget his name? Thanks. You put your stupid.
I just keep thinking of Randy Blythe.
God damn it.
Yeah. But we all know, God damn it, let me pull it up here.
Is this not rock and roll news? How can
this
we
is
not?
The rock and roll news, that's right.
How can we not?
Lamb of God.
I'm going to go back and do this.
Yeah. Chris Adler.
Oh, see?
Yes.
He's one of those guys, it's like he's known by name in the metal community.
Dystopia was the Megadeth album 2016.
Did we listen to this together?
I don't know, but I have listened to that album. Let me see where it falls.
So it's been a while. It's been like 5 years. But then again, like all we really want is like old Megadeth. You know what I mean?
Where that lines up, yeah. So yeah, the next album is The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead, and it's supposed to come out this year. That's what they're titled it.
So many new albums this year.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So moving on to our fourth story. Some Metallica news, yes. Not anything they've done, really. I mean, they did it in the past, but nothing currently. This is just some news about their self-titled Black Album. This week that it fell one spot off the Billboard 100, or 2 spots, sorry. So it went from 99 to 101. And so it fell off the top Billboard 100.
It stayed on there for all these years?
Yes. So that was a big achievement right there.
What?
But even being on the top 200 is still an achievement because they're actually the let me find what the statistic is, but I think that makes them 600 weeks on the Billboard Top 200. So yeah, that's it's the fourth in history album to do that.
What were the other ones?
The other ones are, the first, of course, number one we'll start with is Dark Side of the Moon.
How the fuck?
Which is actually crazy long. 960 weeks on Billboard 200.
Jesus Christ.
And it actually, yeah.
There just wasn't that many bands back then.
Second place, you have Bob Marley and the Wailers.
What?
The group's Best Of compilation.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's been
like in everyone's floorboard in the fucking 90s when you're trying to go buy weed when you're 15. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been up there 671, I believe. And then right behind that, you have Journey's Greatest Hits.
The fuck? That is actually the number one selling album of all time, right? Like it was
the Eagles. That was that one. Or that was their Best Of beat Michael Jackson or something like that.
Right. Okay, well,
Journey still. So you got those
Journey.
Before. So it goes Pink Floyd, Bob Marley, Journey, and then Metallica.
Well, at least we got some metal in there.
Yeah, still
anyone
crazy
else? It's all like rock and roll and one reggae band.
Yeah. So congratulations, I guess. And that comes from Forbes reporting on that. But moving on to
the Black Album too. More, Jesus.
Some new album news.
Oh shit! Let's talk about Industrial.
Yeah. Fear Factory is teasing a new vocalist, and they got Tony Campos back
because he fills in for every bass player.
And this comes from Metal Injection, and they're saying that the upcoming album is unfortunately going to be the final one with vocalist Burton C. Bell but they plan to continue to keep going. So they've also been rejoined by Tony Campos, as I said, and they're teasing a new vocalist for the band. So we don't quite know who it is, but they said that they would be putting out new music in 2021, and that.
Well, what happened to fucking Barton?
I don't know.
He was doing like guest tracks on everyone's album for the past like 4 years or so after he left.
There was another article that they put out that was titled that he has zero interest in rejoining.
He has 3 kids.
People move on for a reason, and when I move on, I move on.
Okay.
There you go. So I'm sure there's more to that we could get into. That was a past story.
You got to give him that.
But yes, as far as the new vocalist and
all we really cared
Tony
about
Campos,
was the fucking wrist technique of the guitar player, anyways, right? Like just fucking.
Yeah, that dude Tony Dino.
Yeah,
that dude. Yeah. And he even said, he said the main roadblock that's going on right now is that legal battle, and that the project is currently without a label, and that they need basically financial help.
Fuck.
And this led to the fans encouraging him to create a GoFundMe to help produce it. This caused Burton Bell to distance himself from the fundraiser after it was announced, posting on social media, "Let me be clear, I am not a part of, nor am I benefiting from any GoFundMe campaign." Dino then began work on completing the new album, even releasing studio updates with the drummer Mike Heller. He also offered some teasers of like a new music, and some fans tried to guess who the singer is, and Dino wouldn't confirm who it is or who it wasn't. So
it's a secret.
Yeah, so it's
probably better off that way.
Yeah,
build hype, get people caring again.
If you go to his Twitter, there's actually some clips and photos you can look at, and that'll be some of the clues and hints. So
now it becomes a mystery.
Yeah,
that you can solve.
So yeah, that is it as far as some Fear Factory news, and the new album it's coming along. They're getting a new vocalist.
And who doesn't love Tony Campos?
Yeah.
Can you name one person?
No.
He's the nicest guy. Nicest guy ever.
So it's sad to say that, it's good that this new album is going to be a sort of a bookend to Burton C. Bell's Fear Factory sort of career. Like one last album, it's almost ready, but then they already got this new singer planned. They've already got Tony in the bag. Album's already,
They just got to have a fucking legal battle with the laws. Wow.
Yeah.
The fuck ever. Man, how'd that shit happen?
Yeah.
They just signed a shit contract back in the day and didn't realize it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Some really positive, awesome news, because concerts are coming back, people. We got people announcing shows left and right. It's happening. It's happening.
I saw a band playing the other night.
Yeah. I haven't seen,
I wasn't watching. I was like from a distance, and then I heard it, and I was like, oh, look at that.
Here in town specifically, I've seen a lot of comedy coming back. Like, I was over at Half Price Books, and the place across the street was having an open mic comedy night. It's like, everybody's doing that right now.
I went to fucking 888 Pan Asia restaurant. They had a band playing outside.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah.
It's weird.
Running Jules fast. All right, let's talk about it.
So concerts coming back, and Rage Against the Machine and Run the Jewels have announced tour dates, rescheduled tour dates.
Close your eyes.
Yeah, this comes from Billboard. They've announced some spring 2020 or 2022 dates. Sorry. So basically, it's, I think from the last because they had scheduled a past concert.
Yeah.
Hey, and it got postponed.
How much is this show going to be, money wise, for the nosebleeds?
I don't know, because
everyone was pissed off last time about this, where it was like insane prices for tickets, right?
Yeah,
this was
but
the controversial.
I mean, if they didn't get refunded, if you didn't get your tickets refunded, they're being honored at this show.
Wow, you have a $400 investment in your hand.
Yeah, so basically, they're going to be touring together. It's a lot of dates. I mean, it's a lot. It's unfortunately for us Texas folk, I think there's only one date, and I think it's like El Paso. Let's see. Yeah, it's the first date actually, El Paso.
Oh fuck! We're gonna have to drive to El Paso, dude.
That's basically it. And like I said, I think that one was sold out too. Like I think
it's already sold out.
I think.
Oh, cool.
Because
never mind.
They all sold out initially. Remember, it was like really hard.
Yeah.
So when they canceled it, unless those people got refund and then gave up those tickets, then there's no tickets available. You know, so I'm sure there are. When it goes on sale, there'll probably be limited, even less tickets because there's maybe people who held on to their tickets. So it'll be one of those weird situations. There's a few dates that it says they're not appearing at. It's very. Let me see if I can find the dates for those shows. And Quebec. The Quebec City show is not going to have Run the Jewels, but. That's some exciting news. If you're a fan of Rage Against the Machine and Run the Jewels, check out
all we wanted to see.
Yeah,
but,
just check out their
all the hoopla that happened last time.
Twitter or social media. It'll have all the dates and links. And if you're able to get a ticket, that'll probably be the best way to do it, and the most legit way, like you're saying, instead of scalpers. That's what they've been trying to avoid. They like limited it to like 2 per. You know, they did some weird thing where to avoid scalpers. I can't remember the exact situation and process, but they did something to where they were like limiting ticket sales to avoid scalpers, and I don't know.
The biggest scalpers are those fucking StubHub fucks where they buy up all the goddamn tickets and then overcharge for it. So why isn't there any laws against that? All right, so fuck that when it comes to like, oh, we don't want people scalping tickets. What, you just want major... like huge $1 million companies to do it for you? What the fuck?
Yeah. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Maybe you can get tickets. This next story, I send you a text for it. You should pull it up and pull up some tracks here, because this one might actually be homework for listeners, because I don't know quite the legalities of it, or I would say let's play these songs, because this next story is going to involve some music, like all our stories. But this is actually different in the sense that we're going to be talking about music that a computer created. So I don't know what can we play that? I do recommend everybody go.
Is there a fucking clip on here?
Yeah, there's some YouTube videos.
Oh.
I do, and there's different bands. So pick whichever band you'd like to hear. But, this comes from Consequence of Sound, and I just Google AI creates new songs, and you'll find this article. And basically, AI software has created new Nirvana songs, or song called "Drowned in the Sun," and they've also done it for Amy Winehouse, Jimi Hendrix, The Doors. It's basically they're calling it the lost tapes of the 27 Club. So this computer software. They uploaded like 20 to 30 songs of each artist. So hey, we're listening to the Nirvana one right now, and it's
pretty much a computer just took all their music and everything they've ever done, and then kind of pieced together what
a new song
they would do.
Exactly.
Okay, it all makes sense.
Listen to pull up the Amy Winehouse one. And you'll definitely hear that one. There's
definitely
also
the worst Nirvana song I ever heard.
Yeah. The Doors one. It's very crazy. So they took according to them, they took about 20 to 30 songs from each artist, broke them down into like MIDI files, and then just took like the hook, the solo, the vocal melody, the rhythm guitar, and then put those in like one at a time. And then this software basically just, you just have a bunch of riffs, and in about 5 minutes, the new AI software writes these riffs, and 90% are really bad and unlistenable. But you start to listen through and find little moments that are interesting, and that are really.
So still, the robot still can't create music.
So it's not perfect every time, but it is able to
keep our jobs for now as musicians.
Yeah, it's able to go in there and find certain elements, like you're saying.
I understand. There's supposed to be like a algorithm that they made that will take like how music works in like a scale, verse, chorus, verse, whatever, 4-chord progression, blah, blah,
but
blah,
not
blah.
even that, but how they did it.
Yeah, then just take pieces of what they've done in every song, because a style is reflected through a band, and then it should be able to just create one. It's like, kind of reminds me of those mashups of like Journey on top of Slayer, and somehow it just fucking fits.
It fits.
You know what I mean?
So, I mean, it's we're getting to that point in music and technology where we're able to bands have a certain sound and writing style and the way they construct music, and we're able to feed a program these songs and then have new music made from these artists.
But we've done it ourselves, just fucking around in the jam room.
Oh, yeah,
where we're like think about Cannibal Corpse when we play this next band jam song, band jam and band jam it.
It's the quickness in 5 minutes it able to crunch these 30 songs and produce. You got to sift through it, but it's all done right there. And so I mean it's also, it says that this article is also raising awareness on
AI and how it's going to take over the world. What is not raising awareness on?
About mental health resources. Because the organization called Over the Bridge, they hope the project emphasizes exactly how much work goes into creating AI music. There's an inordinate amount of human hands at the beginning and middle and end to create something like this. That's what the board of the CEO of Lemon Entertainment, who's on the board over at Over the Bridge, that's what he had said. And a lot of people may think that AI music will replace musicians at some point. But at this point,
I wasn't thinking it until now.
The number of humans that are required just to get to a point where a song is listenable is actually quite significant.
And let me tell you, there's no fucking way, because music is based around emotion and like how like naturally humans are chaotic, and that's sometimes how music is, and it's very beautiful, because it could be it doesn't matter what style you're playing either. It really it comes out. Sometimes people are just hey, Mars Volta, how did you write that 9-minute long song with all those parts? And they were like, it just comes out that way. And they didn't plan on it. It just happens. So we'll never lose our jobs, because that's the beauty about music. They won't understand those things. Computers will never understand those human emotions.
It's getting
and that's
closer
what makes music.
And closer, and we'll see.
No, they're going to be picking up fucking logs or whatever the fuck, like giant pieces of steel, doing that kind of work.
Humming songs.
Fighting future wars. They're not going to be musicians. And if they are, they're just a weird backup guitar player that we keep as a gimmick. No. That's about it. You can't replace
some Chuck E. Cheese animatronic thing.
The drum machine is already a thing where it's like...
It is.
Yeah.
You already got robot bands.
No. My job is already taken by a robot a long time ago.
Moving on. That concludes our news for this 2 weeks.
So now we got new releases. Yeah. And on this note, can we vamp for a little bit? Play some elevator music? Because
start loading up the next song.
I gotta pee. I gotta pee so bad.
Sure.
All right.
Be right back.
And we're back. Sorry about that, folks. I really had to use the bathroom. All that seltzer water we've been drinking.
Just running right through you.
All right. On to new releases. We got 3 for you. And starting off will be Red Fang's new single.
We got 3 new singles.
Oh,
yes. We got 1 new release. It was a slow 2 weeks, they're saying. But you got 3 new singles for albums that are coming out. We got starting off with Red Fang.
Arrows is the name of the song. They did a song, I guess it's been about 7 months, maybe. This pandemic's been pretty long. Or maybe it's been like a year now. That song that they did, it was just a single as well. What was it called? Antidote.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't spawn a new album. I was really surprised on that. And then, a new single comes out, and I don't know if it's going to be a new album. That's what I'm saying. But have you seen the music video?
Yes, that's what I was. I'm trying to in the process.
Oh, shit. Just pay for YouTube.
Just internet.
Oh, wow. A lot of commercials. It's great. The whole video, spoiler alert, is just them getting a samurai sword. And that's it.
Yeah.
And then
they always have great video. You know, we've talked.
If you've seen any other,
past,
you know, that's how I fell in love with this band, was definitely the music videos that you showed me, Chris, where I was like, this is great. It was the music videos that brought me into their music.
Yeah.
Because they're just very comical. It's one of those bands that just kind of likes to have fun. And I like listening to bands like that. It's like Clutch, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, you know, it's always going to be the same kind of thing. Every time you listen to it, when you're craving it, you always get that fix. You know what I mean? They're never going to like go too far off.
Yeah.
Plus, their music videos, you can always expect the same. They look like they've been
filmed with like an iPhone or something. They're like so.
You don't need any.
I know, yeah.
And that was like they just get a check in the mail, and that's how every music video starts. It's like we just got the check for the new music video, and then they go buy, I don't know, what the fuck ever they want to have fun. Like, one I think was it Hank is Dead, maybe, where they bought the car, and then they were just driving that car through a bunch of shit, you know. Like they just bought a bunch of milk and drove through it, and then bought a bunch of beer and then drank some of it and then drove through it. And that's all it ever is. It's just like them getting the check. I think the realest music video is definitely the zombie one. And I forget what song, but that was definitely off the album that we're going to be talking about later on. Murder Mountain, if you didn't know. Murder the Mountain. Mountains? Fuck, I'm fucking it all up. Oh, God. But yes, just go check out the music video on YouTube. Just type in, if you just type in Red Fang, that's the first thing that's going to pop up because it's new release. You know, it's been a hot second since they had something. And it's great. It's going to make you love the song a little bit more.
Yeah.
If you have never seen Red Fang's music videos, go fucking watch this one. And then just for the next 45 to an hour, watch the rest of them because they're all fucking great. And there's at least like 10 at this point.
They're like the comedic, you know, they're very.
They just like to.
They're fun. They're comedic. Fun. Yeah.
They just like to have fun. It's why I love them as a band. It's kind of like my favorite styles of music, like just stoner rock. You know what I mean? Because it's just fun. It could be very heavy. It could also be fast. You know, not all the time, but it can be very fast. And it's just like. You get a little bit of everything, and I really like it. Plus, there's no way you can, you know, not have fun or have fun subjects when it comes to these type of bands. It's like, what are you going to sing about? Something serious?
Yeah.
Probably not. You know what I mean? And if you are, you are hiding it a little bit with, you know, this comedic undertone. Which I don't know. I'm just saying I didn't dive into their lyrics, but I'm pretty sure it's all very fun and lighthearted. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't really dug into their lyrics either, but I mean, they have weird song titles, so I don't know if they're very, you know.
Should have did more research.
Yeah. At least, I mean, when it comes to that, I'm not, personally, I don't even.
Most of their songs just sound very fun, but I said the same thing for Mastodon, and it was like not so true because it was a lot of serious, like, you know.
I'm just personally not a lyrics person. I appreciate them, but it's not what I tend to
It's not our jobs. Chris over here being a guitar player.
It's not what I focus on.
And then me being a drummer, I do focus a lot on the vocals, but not exactly what they're saying, you know? And then songs can be very misleading because you just, whatever they're singing about, if you're going through the same thing, you'll kind of just put it in your own like storyline, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh yeah, I definitely are going through that heartbreak, you know? It's like that Four Seasons song, that Ricky Valley song, you know? I love you, baby. That sounds like such a love song, but he's talking about his daughter that died. But it sounds like a love song, you know what I mean? Like about a woman that he loved and lost, but it's about his daughter that he lost. So different type of love, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You kind of just put it in your own context. What were we talking about? No. So definitely go check out Red Fang and all their music videos. Let's move on to the next one.
Yes.
One of my favorite bands.
Yes. We have a new single from
Here we go.
Cannibal Corpse.
Oh, it's too brutal for the headphones, man.
It's coming out for their album Violence Unimagined, and the song is called Murderous Rampage. And they have an official like promo video for it on their website and YouTube.
Yeah.
It's just kind of
Check out the
artwork.
This is what the Spotify does. Yeah, so it's like a kind of a little music video.
Okay.
It's just like a screensaver.
Is it for every band? Or is it that same picture? Or is it just for that song?
It's just for this song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it will change. Like
Cool.
all of their last album, Red Before Black, every song had something different on it. This one on Spotify is for Murderous Rampage is a drawing of a baby that's gutted, that's still alive, I think, was very brutal. And then just blood pouring down it. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
It's so fucking brutal because the music is so fucking brutal. If you're not a fan of Cannibal Corpse, I don't know what the fuck you're doing or why you're listening to this podcast. Because we fucking love Cannibal Corpse, don't we, Chris?
Oh, yeah. It looks like there's 2 album covers like they kind of always do. One that's like a little more tame, violent still, but then they have one that's absolutely brutal with like a naked woman ripping a baby apart.
You know what we're talking about.
Yeah, basically it's like
everyone knew that guy in high school that had all the Cannibal Corpse shirts, and they were fucking brutal. And that guy was way too serious. He was like, "Oh, I listen to death metal," but the shirts are badass. You know what I mean? And we'll get you sent home in some cases.
They'll get you
like, no,
flip your shirt inside out. Can I really? This whole shirt is a picture. It's gonna itch my skin.
Yeah, but you wore it just. I had the same thing with the Rage Against the Machine. The nuns with the shotguns. No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
I can't even imagine this flying at all. No.
Most Cannibal Corpse things would not fly. Yeah. But that's what makes them so awesome because they just really do just... Everyone knows who Cannibal Corpse is because of the T-shirts, I feel like. You know what I mean? Because people wear them like even like rappers and stuff will wear these shirts, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, they've been around for so long as well, you know? Like, and them being in, a cult classic movie like, I was gonna say Zoolander. I don't know why. No, Ace Ventura. Like most people know them and not know death metal.
Yeah.
So I think they're at the absolute best at what they do, and they're one of my favorite bands ever. And I'm super excited about the new album.
Super excited. It's got that new guitar player. Yeah. It's sounding awesome already. So.
Yeah, the new guitar player is just the producer, right?
Yeah. And they're recording it with him and stuff. His
albums are the best. Kill, Torture, Evisceration Plague. Those are the albums. Those are like my favorite, like some of my favorite albums of all time because every song is just fucking slaps and just pounds you in. But at the same time, it feels fun. It feels very fun.
Yeah. And that's, again, Violence Unimagined coming out April 16th. So that's right around the corner, baby.
Oh, yeah.
That's in 2 days from now. We're recording April 14th. And
chills.
That Red Fang album, Arrows, which we played the song Arrows, that comes out June 4th of this year. So a couple months away, but still.
We'll get another single or two before then. Probably music video.
Yeah, we'll talk more about this album on the next episode.
Oh, yeah.
Because it'll be the release day. So
let's move on.
Let's move on.
And we're back again with Gojira.
Oh, yes. Gojira.
Another song.
It's like they're just releasing
on our time schedule.
On our time schedule, and literally a song, like the whole album's going to come out like in piecemeal. You know what I mean? They've already released like 5-6 songs already.
I thought it was the whole album that came out yesterday.
But I
was like 4 songs. Yeah, wait, this ain't the whole album. It's just another single. The song being Into the Storm, which I fucking love the chorus of this song.
This sounds like, this
sounds like classic Gojira.
Like the crazy rhythm riff. You kind of,
Your backbone Gojira. You
know? Can't ever fail.
Your wacky beats, your off times. I fucking love his chops. It's like, he's one of my favorite drummers ever. Mario Duplantier.
Yeah.
Shout out. Forever. Teach me your ways. But yeah, this is going to be a part of the, what is the album going to be called?
Fortitude, and it will be coming out April 30th is what this says. Let me just double check to make sure that is the correct release date.
So the end of this month?
Yes, April 30th. So it'll be at the end of this month. And let's see.
And Godzilla will arise.
We'll be
clean this world.
Yeah. We'll be talking about it in 2 episodes from now. So
I almost said King Kong. Nope, we're not talking about Mastodon.
Hopefully, no more songs come out from it, though. Jesus, I mean, I want to kind of listen to it.
They're so addicting.
You know what I
dude.
mean? Like
this chorus. Oh my god, this chorus blows my mind, dude.
I mean, I don't know how you feel about them releasing all these songs. It also goes back to my point with the Flooded Tomb songs, which we've talked about internally about releasing singles and stuff like that.
That's how you do it, man.
You keep people's interest in this thing.
You'll overwhelm everyone with a whole album.
Yeah.
That Tool album, I've only listened to it 3 times. But it's one of my favorite albums ever. But it feels overwhelming still because it's 66 minutes of great fucking music. It's just that's kind of how you would want it when it comes to a band like Tool. I would say Gojira is the same, but these singles are banging, and they all their songs kind of stay about the same thing, and it's all very consistent no matter what album, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least now they're sharpening their sound to a fine point to where you're gonna get the crazy death metal parts of them and their crazy off time drum beats and fucking pinky slamming fucking riffs. But you're also gonna get these very awesome rock and roll choruses
or these breakdowns.
The breakdowns are those classic Gojira things, but what you're gonna get now is just a chorus, a really good chorus to a song, like a rock and roll chorus, where the drums back off and everything opens up, and it's just so great because now we're getting a little bit of both of.
They've been doing that more and more lately, where they let those choruses really
show themselves,
almost not chanty or anything, but sing-songy.
It's a very rock and roll chorus. It's wide open. The drums fall back onto a 4/4. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They leave it open for the vocals and just a really
simple.
good open riff. Yeah,
it's very heavy. Almost heavy hand on.
It's just addicting. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's very Aerosmith of them. You know what I mean? Where it's just their good fucking chorus. It's a good chorus, and that's really where you want to get to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just I love everything else, but this chorus is really pulling me in because I'm just addicted to it after a certain amount of time. But I kind of like stuff like this. I can get that people that that are just death metal fans, like Cannibal Corpse fans, might not. But how can you listen to death metal all day? You're gonna take a break.
Yeah.
So I don't get anyone that listens to the same style, just one style of music, and that's it. That's pretty absurd, and that's a very boring life to live. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I love Gojira, and the podcast loves Gojira because that's all we talk about. That Sepultura, and then some Mike Patton stuff, but that's it.
People. We swear to God.
And also Metallica. We'll talk more Cannibal Corpse next episode. But go check out this this new song. It's everywhere. There's not a music video for it. Again, Into the Storm. And I'm going to stop listening to it so I can save myself for the album because I'm going to ruin it for me. It's going to ruin it because I'll over-listen and then I'll start skipping those songs when I do get the album. And then I'm going to be like, fuck, I want to listen to it all the way through to see how things are placed and how it's going to flow, because that's my favorite thing about listening to an entire album is from start to finish. I mean, it's
the flow of it.
You don't really want to bounce around. Some bands are different than others, but for me, most of my favorite bands are just you got to start at the beginning, work your way through. And
they started this whole thing with Another World, and that had a whole different look to it. It had this futuristic look, and this album is not. They just
slammed it on there.
Yeah, I know. It's
and you were right; they weren't ready to commit to making a full album until now. And that song was about 7 months ago. Anyways.
That was a long time.
Yeah, and it does have a different picture on Spotify, but it's slammed into this album as well, which is fine. Fine by me. Yeah,
got it. I mean,
hey, don't lose it.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do that with Blood and Salt? I have to find that shit on YouTube where it's Devin Townsend, the guy from fucking another singer, I can't remember who it was, but and fucking Gojira, all singing at the same time. I think it was Randy from fucking
Lamb of God.
Lamb of God, yeah. And that shit was epic, dude. It was one of my favorite songs. The whole, what was it going to be called? Sea Shepherd? I don't know. The computer crashed. They just scrapped the fucking album. Done. In the trash. We'll start over. We'll make a new one. Which
Never made a new one.
They did. They went off to make
Or
a Wild Child.
New.
Yeah.
Never came back to it.
But damn, that song, you just left it behind. It sucks. It was done. It was produced. I don't know.
Yeah, probably will be on like a B-side when they release their like...
Maybe when they own it again because they might have been shoehorned into another record label at that point.
Maybe. It'll probably... I mean, you know how like, what is it, Deftones did that B-sides and rarities? It'll be something like that. Gojira, they've never done a rarities B-sides album. And I imagine when they do, that song will be on it.
They make one hell of a good live album, though.
Yeah.
You buy the concert DVD and you get the live album for free,
Yeah.
or like vice versa or whatever.
It's good.
It's fucking great. Yeah, it sounds so good. All right, moving on to something I have no idea what the fuck this is.
It's the, I mean, I don't know if it's on Spotify. It's the only new album that's come out, metal, kind of rock related, that's of worth talking about. This band, New Zealand-based, Bridgeburner. I guess they've been in hiatus for a while and came back with a new album. Their sophomore full-length album, Disempath. And it's really quick. It's a 28-minute album, 9 tracks. It's super hardcore, almost Locust-y, sort of.
I didn't put it in the playlist because I didn't know.
I didn't know if it wasn't on there or not. Because
because it's Spotify. Is that what you're saying?
I don't
Are
know.
you shitting on Spotify right now?
Well, because I'm pulling up all their information on Bandcamp, so I don't know if it's one of those bands that's like.
That's what I was thinking too.
So like new, still a little underground, but like because I saw one of the major metal news publications talk about them.
Got it.
So, yeah.
Spotify's pretty good about just having local bands' music on there.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost much. It's like $60 a year.
Yeah.
And you're
And
on
it's free,
everything.
too.
Or you could put
free.
it on there for free?
Yeah.
Oh, well then fuck.
Well, no, I mean Spotify, right? They have a free version, the ad version.
Oh, yeah, you can listen to it for free. Yeah.
So, I mean.
But other people put music on there. You fucking anyone can do that. Yeah.
So yeah, they have a Bandcamp if you want to support them directly, but they do, like we said, you can stream the album. It's
listen to it right now.
Disempath. So came out on the 2nd of April, which we did our
blast beats.
We did our episode on April 2nd, so we skipped over it because it came out the day the episode premiered, or we recorded it. So they're a 5-piece, really brutal. I suggest go check them out. I can see
most of my friends already knowing about this band or not getting into this band because this is definitely right up their alleyway. It's kind of like
the vocals are very like screamy.
Yeah,
and
it's like hardcore but faster, which that doesn't make any sense. But there's double kicks there.
Yeah,
hardcore with double kicks, and that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there was some death metal in there too.
I was gonna say, there's a
love it.
Describe themselves as a maelstrom of hardcore, grinding D beats, death metal dirge,
boom,
creating a unique and pummeling sonic experience, difficult to categorize.
D beat.
So I mean, it's like I said, 28 minutes, 9 tracks. Give it a shot if you're into like something really heavy and quick, because it reminds me of like I said, the Locust and the guitar riffs, how frenetic they are, but then like the screaminess, like we're saying, the hardcore elements. You got the death metal drum element coming in, or the speed and the precision type thing. So it's kind of all over the place, but it's been more I listen to, it's kind of growing.
Yeah.
If you're into metal and that type of thing, worth mentioning.
I'll save it right now. I gave it a heart.
And that concludes our new releases for these past 2 weeks. And we'll be moving on into the actual anniversary portion.
The birthday celebration.
Yes. So we're talking about a few albums, maybe some that we've talked about before. But albums that are...
I think we definitely did a full length on this first one, which we're going to be talking the Butthole Surfers, Electric Larryland.
Yes.
And 25th anniversary.
25th this year. Which is
a good solid number. Those are the years you want to celebrate when it's like 30 or 35 or something like that, you know?
Yeah. It was released in May, but I mean... May 6th. It's April...
And everyone knows this album.
It's April right now, but so there's, I guess, a weird controversy between when it released or something. But I guess it showed up on my my notes for April, so that's where there might be some confusion there. But we've talked about this album before, so if you kind of want to dig more into that information,
all the production work, what went into it, really not that interesting of a story. I think some of the things that we were taken back by is the adding of double drumming with drum samples in some songs to really pull out the effects. There was some sampling on the snare drum for the song like Pepper, which it's just those were a few things that that were really interesting and I didn't know about, we didn't know about until doing the episode. But other than that, there wasn't a lot of story, you know what I mean? It was just like them going in there and just laying down another album and a little bit of them just kind of being very lackadaisical with it, like just not worried, just going in there and doing it when initially this was supposed to be their fucking, their Magnus opus, you know what I mean? And they were just like, they don't care about shit like that.
Yeah.
They don't really care about shit like that. The entire album is great from start to finish. But again, in Butthole Surfer fashion, it's going to go all over the place. You're going to get your rock song, like your heavy rock and roll, like punk song, if you will. And then it kind of just goes into like little jingles and little melodies and has weird lyrics on top. The first album as well is when they only had one drummer. Every album before this, they had two drummers. So this was just the one drummer. But it doesn't mean the other drummer wasn't still in the band.
Yes.
He just did something else. And that's the great thing about the Butthole Surfers. If you go watch like an interview with them, like type in Butthole Surfer interview, you're gonna have a great time.
Yeah.
The one where they're just sitting in bed, the entire interview, and that was like for their DVD for their very first album. And I've always loved it. They're a local band for us here, being in Austin, Texas. I'm sure they said they were from everywhere, though. Originally started in San Antonio, but San Antonio's always been a metal scene, so moving to Austin for, your more wackier, kooky vibe, because we've had, Millions of Dead Cops, the Jesus Lizard, stuff like this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like we always have something a little bit more fun and open to all sorts of stuff, crazy stage shows, I even heard a story about the Butthole Surfers burning down a club in New York. Because remember they, in some of those old footages that we've seen of the Butthole Surfers where they set their cymbal on fire and he would always hit it with a mallet. Mm-hmm. I think that went out of control.
Pretty quickly, I can imagine that.
And he would even bring like a shotgun with blanks in it and shoot it above the crowd's head. Fucking absolutely absurd, as well as taking shits on stage. I mean, what more to say about Gibby Haynes? Fucking an insane person that makes crazy awesome music, and it reflects his personality 100%. I hope I get to meet him one day, but then again, I wouldn't even know what to say. It just feels so close to home because I think he lives in Austin. Everyone's like, that's where Gibby, and I was like, okay. But
some of the surfers.
Yeah, go back and celebrate this album. This has your classics like Pepper on it, and my personal favorite, Lord is a Monkey. Great, just great and fun and good daytime, summertime album,
Yeah.
Sunshiny,
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about it anyways.
This next album is not very sunshiny. It's Sepultura's Arise, celebrating its 30th. This one I forgot to mention last episode because it came out March 25th, so it would have been within that last 2 weeks from last episode. But mentioning it now, Arise, Sepultura, 30th anniversary.
Fucking hell.
1991, March 25th.
And well, let's get into it. I'm silent here because I'm listening to the song and I'm like, you know the song I'm talking about, Arise.
The self-titled.
The one song I don't even have to hear, like I won't hear it for like a year or something. I'm just giving a weird example of time frame. And still know what the song sounds like when he's like, oh, the album Arise, and you're just the guitar riff is always stuck in my fucking head. And I know it's fucking brutal. It just starts off fucking swinging. And it's from start to finish, fucking amazing album. Every song beating you down. It's a cross between death metal and thrash because we still get the very grooviness of the thrash metal, but everything besides for that is fucking beating you in the fucking face. You know, it's just very death metal. It's fucking, So this would be their third album, fourth album.
This would be, let's see, fourth.
Oh, right. Because the other two, I just fucking blank out of my mind sometimes because they're so...
Beneath the Remains. Let's see, what else? Oops. Can you pull them up on the top of your head?
Oh, yeah.
Schizophrenia, Morbid
Yeah,
Visions.
those two are just like weirdly... Schizophrenia, I love Schizophrenia. Morbid Visions, their guitars weren't even tuned in that album. I don't know if they knew what they were doing.
Beneath the Remains is awesome.
That's what I was going to get to. Yeah. Beneath the Remains, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, that's an album that's just heavy on your chest when you listen to it. You like, the album cover really reflects it, where you're just like, oh, God.
Yeah.
So you have Beneath the Remains, and then 2 years later, we get to Arise, or maybe even a year, I think, between these albums, and fuck yes. You know what I mean? Like, they're established themselves as one of the most brutal fucking bands that has ever existed.
It's
sticking right next to, like, put them up against Slayer, kind of brutal, where it's like, holy shit. And Slayer had a lot more time to start their band before Sepultura got on the, on the record label. Or
even the
record
album
label.
art for Arise is like classic. It's very death amalgamation of just fucked up visions. Like
it's very death metal
imagery.
Yeah. Which I love this entire album. Like, this one is not homework to listen to. You know what I mean? Like, the Butthole Surfers can be a little hard at times to get all the way through the album. That's only because I love death metal so much. It's so fast. It gets to the point we're not bullshitting.
Yeah,
and we're fucking swing. You know, it's it gets me going. I'm listening to it right now, and I just want to.
It was
take this board and throw it straight out the window and just start raging down the street.
Episode,
and then attack a cop with a knife. No,
it was
burn down my own house.
Done.
These bad jokes.
It was done in 1990 to 91, so they did it about a year at a Morris Sound Recording in Tampa, Florida.
Death metal
Scott
is made
Burns,
in Florida.
Roadrunner label.
Everyone knows who Scott Burns is if you're a fan of death metal.
Yeah,
because they did bands like Death, and fucking pretty much all of them. The first 6 Cannibal Corpse albums. So obviously,
the tour for the album, which consisted from 91 to 92. Was the group's longest tour at that time. 220 shows in 39 different countries.
No, that's brutal.
The album went gold in Indonesia, and it was the band's first music industry certification. So, by the end of the tour, Arise went and achieved platinum sales around the world, and just went on to become, as we know, one of the classics, all-time classics.
Dead Embryonic Cells.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs of all time, dude.
It's on, goes, when it comes to its legacy, like we said, it's entered Billboard
albums
charts.
You must listen to before you die.
Yeah, it's on all these, albums you have to listen to, charts. It's on the Decibel Hall of Fame.
Oh, really?
Got, Arise was Sepultura's their first record, to enter the Billboard charts at 145.
Pretty good for death metal.
Yeah, it was the first to get a music certification. It went gold in 92, like I said, in Indonesia. And then it went, by 93, it sold 1 million albums around the world. And in 2001, it won its second certification, which was silver in the UK for selling 60,000.
It's just too good. It's just too good of an album. Everything's so well placed. They became such refined musicians at this point.
I think it's still a little underground when it comes to sales, but when it comes to like,
it holds up. It holds up.
If you know, you know.
30 years, we said. All right.
And if you don't know,
30
you need
years.
to know.
Go back and listen to it. This blows most, modern day fucking death metal bands out the water. You know what I mean? These guys were crushing it. They knew what they were doing. It's always, this is why we talk about Max all the time. You know what I mean? And this is why, Igor was one of my favorite drummers. Adrius, what an amazing fucking, just a riff master, Catchy riff after catchy riff after
solos,
catchy
riffs, yeah.
Oh, and then fucking Paula,
Yeah.
Dude, loving everything because it all connects so well. You know what I mean? I just can't talk anymore about it.
Yeah.
We got to move on.
Moving on to another album, Red Fang's Murder the Mountains.
We're back to talking to Red Fang.
Yeah, and we're back to current. That last album, again, was one we kind of skipped over, but had to mention it, of course. This one, there's so many albums. Some just get lost, a lot of goddamn albums.
Yeah, we can only pick the ones that we love. And it's like,
or
why
not even that, they
Because
just get
why would we talk about Peter
accidentally
Frampton,
skipped over.
Yeah.
So moving on, Murder the Mountains by Red Fang, their second album.
10th anniversary. So
10th anniversary here.
They've been around for 13 years. They're working on getting that rock and roll certification of 20 plus. The 20 plus, you're doing it.
April 12th, 2011 was the release of Murder the Mountains from Relapse. Chris Funk and the band produced it, and they did it at...
he also plays slide guitar on this.
Chris Funk?
Oh. I don't know which song. It didn't say.
Didn't say?
It didn't say.
Oh, okay. Well, and then you have, it's recorded at Type Foundry Studios in Portland and Blackbird Studios in Nashville. And it only had one single, Wires, and there was a deluxe edition.
But we also got a music video. Wires is the single, but also, what is it? Hank is Dead? Yeah, Hank is Dead.
Hank is Dead, yes.
Yeah, they had a music video for that one too.
And the song number 13 was also, looks like, it was a playable song in Rocksmith, so I imagine that one was kind of a single-ish. They promoted it, I mean.
And I like this fun fact. The Todd and the Book of Pure Evil, it was a Canadian show. I think it was on Netflix for a hot second streaming. And, it was kind of like rock and roll, it was like Ash versus Evil Dead before we even had any of that stuff. And to know, one of these songs was in that, in one of their episodes is fucking great. And it's like, oh, fun little fun fact. Yeah. Fun little fun fact.
Fun little fun fact. All right. Well, do you have any more information or
about the Murder
of the Mountains?
I can't believe it's been 10 years. I felt like I was there when this album came out, but I definitely wasn't.
I can't believe they put out that many albums since then. They've at least got, this new one. They've got two others before then.
It's this one that's Blood and Cream. I think that's the name of the album. Or Leeches and something.
Leeches.
Ticks and maybe. The song was Blood Like Cream that I really love. And then they had the album, what was it called? Zero?
But I think there's two albums before this new one, right?
Mm-hmm. So they're still working on a 3-year period between albums, if not longer.
Arrows, Only Ghost, Whales and Leeches.
That's what it is.
So, Only Ghost was 2016, Whales and Leeches 2013.
See, they're behind.
They got a 3-year.
This one's, 2016, come on, man, that's 5 years.
Yeah, that's.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I think they were touring their asses off too. Yeah. If you knew anything about Red Fang would come twice a year in Austin, And my fucking luck, I always just got fucked over. That's the day I got a flat tire or something, or whatever it was, where I just could never make the show. Never got to see them live.
Yeah.
But again, Red Fang is so fun. Go check out those music videos. It'll make you fall in love with this band for sure.
For sure.
All right,
moving on. Our next album. We talked about him earlier. Rage Against the Machine. Evil Empire. April 16th, 1996. 25 years ago. They recorded it from March 95 to February 95, and had Brendan O'Brien as producer. Still on Epic, I believe. That's been their main label. I think they were were they on Geffen ever? I think just Epic. I just remember those remember the CDs they were.
Exactly. Let's be real. They really only have 3 albums.
Yeah.
The next one is going to be just a lot of covers. And then they're never going to make another album again, which I don't know why. Because this album is fucking amazing. Evil Empire is, I think, all their albums are great, but this is really fucking you
Besides
get a little bit
the
of
cover
everything.
album, this is the last album, right?
Yeah,
this is the last of original songs.
But this is by far the most grooviest they've ever been on an album, and
heavy,
the anger, the anger of Zach De La Rocha is at like a fucking way past a 10 on this album. Like, you thought he was pissed off on prior albums? No, sir. He is screaming like it's a fucking death metal band at times.
Yeah,
and the greatest fucking drum licks, guitar riffs. This band works so well together.
Yeah.
And you could get anyone to sing over it, you know, if you're a fan of fucking Audioslave and you believe that. I just love this rhythm section.
It's
I love Tom.
Hardcore rhythm section. Some fun
Zach
facts.
is fucking great. I love this fucking band. And I know it's like they have the shittiest fucking fans kind of like grouping, which I don't know why. And they were right there with my other bands.
It's just like anything that's popular.
Yeah,
it's
they're best
music.
friends with Tool, you know, because fucking Maynard came in on their very first album and did that song that was on fucking The Matrix. That's how everyone found out about Rage Against the Machine, by the way. Fun fact. And, dude, just like those type of like weird connections where they've just been a part of like all my favorite bands. You know what I mean? Like, it's great. And they're one of the wackiest bands of all time. Like, this is definitely
Very wacky.
why I love the 90s. As my favorite time frame for music. You can make fun of it all you want, just rap metal or whatever, but the most interesting thing, you had Rage Against the Machine, you had bands like Primus, you had bands like Nine Inch Nails. All those bands sound very different from each other. And you got so many of them, you know what I mean? Which we were just changing the game, dude. We're just making up new rules and just, I don't know what to say. I really wish Rage Against the Machine would make a new album, even if people are going to shit on it.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be just like, what is it?
They can't groove no more? That's
it'll
absurd.
be just like a Guns N' Roses thing where it's like no matter what, it's never
it'll
never live up.
Yeah.
Well, not just that, but it just will never live up to people's probably expectations of what
Who cares what other people think? It's
That's
only about what they think. And that really makes or break it. Yeah. Because people want to bitch about the Tool thing.
They've been working on it.
And Tool didn't say, pretty much, Tool said, I don't give a fuck.
One of the worst kept secrets in music is that Rage is working on a new album. So we'll see if it ever comes out. But
good God. Okay. Love this album. Every song.
Some fun facts about it. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. And Tire Me won a Grammy in '96 for Best Metal Performance. Bulls on Parade and People of the Sun were also nominated for Grammys for hard rock performances. And the album went 3 times platinum on May 24th, 2000. There was 6 singles from it, and it was recorded at Cole Rehearsal Studios in Los Angeles. So 1 location, 6 singles, 3 Grammy nominations, 1 Grammy win, 3 times platinum. We're talking, this is probably the magnum opus of Rage when it comes to like critical reception,
that's what I'm saying.
Reception. Yeah,
going back and listening to it, it crosses off all the T's and dots every I for like what I want, like the perfect. Like I had the Rage Against the Machine crave the other day, and I was like, I don't know where to go, and then I was like, oh, well, this album's coming up, and I'm like, I've listened to it like 3 times in a row, where I'm just like, God damn it, every song just slaps. It's just every song. So I've been practicing on drums too. So fucking fun to play on drums, like all the time. Like these are just great beats to learn, and like I'm learning new techniques that I normally don't play because he's just, that single bass drum player, and for whatever reason, as a 3-piece, they absolutely destroy it when it comes to sound.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's that
so
bass.
I'm learning a lot.
It's that bass there. He leaves a lot of room for Brad, bass player. It's like I can hear it now, just cutting through everything because it's so fucking thick and heavy.
I just want to slap that bass like with my thumb, like because you watch him play too, and you're just like, Jesus God, Yeah,
I
fucking love it.
He's got great tone. His bass has really good tone in that it's like you hear the like string pop, but it's also real thick. It's not like overbearing in any way. It's just like it's just solid. You can hear it right now, like cutting through in the back.
It sounds so good. It sounds like better than the guitar at times. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just pure rhythm.
Bob Ludwig, who we've talked about countless times mastering it. Andy Wallace, countless times mixing it.
I was going to say, how many of the 20 greatest producers ever worked on this? 3. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is like a all hands on deck.
Yes, because this is a very special band and everyone knew it. You know what I mean? They were like, dude, let me show you what they can sound like. And it's fucking, you know?
Yep. All right, well, got any other thoughts on it? I mean, it's another one of my favorite Rage.
Dude, summertime fucking mix, driving around, you know, especially if you're getting stuck in traffic.
It's a great car jammer. You can pump your system if you got one.
Oh, yeah. It's actually, mine's all fucked up, so it's really fucking it up even more. It's really making it really bad. Worse. But I can't stop listening to it. All right, we can move on.
All right.
To a very obscure...
Another Butthole Surfers album.
Why did we even talk about this
Rembrandt,
one? It's not real. This is not a real album. I don't know what they're doing.
April 18th, 1986, 35th anniversary.
This band is old as fuck.
And the alternate covers are great.
Oh my God.
It's like, I don't even know. Is that a woman?
That's a bodybuilder woman.
Yeah, a body crotch of a bodybuilder, a woman bodybuilder. The crotch area, very zoomed in picture.
They really were just trying to get themselves canceled. Yeah. And they couldn't. They were like, this band is so unique and they're so artsy.
It has some like weird, Creep in the Cellar is like one of those songs.
And that's the only song on the album, bro. Yeah. This was a hard fucking listen. It really was. I think I got through all. I was like, okay, I'm fucking done. This one was homework, all right? That being said, it was still kind of fun. Just like, I was listening to it when I woke up in the morning, and it's just like one song is just a bunch of dogs growling. And I keep having to pull out a headphone to be like, hey, wait, that's in my headphone. The dogs are confused. They're just asleep. And I'm yelling at them. Yeah, right. It's a hard listen. I suggest it if you take acid and really want to have a bad time.
All right, so here's some fun facts about the album. Oh god, that's fun. That's hilarious. Recorded 94 to 85 at label was Touch and Go here in the U.S. and Ride Rhino in Europe. Produced by the Surfers. It was originally, I saw in here, the album was supposed to be released for Alternative Tentacles.
Jello Biafra's label.
But with a different mix and song selection and title.
They fucked it. They fucked the album because the record label wouldn't let them go. So they were like, okay, fuck you. And then they just made a fucking pile of mess that wouldn't sell. And they were like, go ahead and die. Because... dude, I saw the Melvins do it 1,000 times. They were like, we have to do 4 albums, so let's just pump them out. That's all the contract really said. Yeah. Fuck.
Basically. So however, they delayed it for a year and the label refused to release it. Then eventually, Touch and Go releases it. And it was further delayed when the band opted to record more songs for it to replace other songs.
See, they just took out all the good songs and they were like, I got something for you. And it's just white noise. Feedback on a guitar. And I think birds were chirping. I don't know.
Outtakes from these sessions can be heard on 2002's Humpty Dumpty LSD. The track Strangers Die Every Day was used on the end credits from Richard Linklater's film Slacker. And then that movie also had a cameo from... Teresa Nervosa, who's the Butthole Surfers drummer.
Oh.
Fun facts.
I think I've seen that movie Slackers one time.
I know. I think
on
one.
HBO.
Yeah. It's one of those one and a done.
It's
like a movie about nothing. Honestly.
Yeah, exactly. You just you if you didn't know what was on, you just flipped on. I'll go to cable.
It's very
we have HBO, and then you're like, if it's on HBO, it must be good, right? So let's watch it.
Kevin Smith based a lot of Clerks off that style and idea that Slackers, or it's just like a day in the life, and it's just these people doing stuff,
dry ass comedy as well.
Yeah,
which that is definitely the humor of the Butthole Surfers, and I fucking knew they just threw the album, like, just took a fall, right? They were like, I'm taking a fall on this album because of the record label just fucking with them. And they're one of those people that have literally said, fuck you to the record label's face, and they still get signed. Like, it's one of those bands that, again, they were trying to cancel themselves, but for some reason, they just didn't happen. And they just kept going. And I don't know why. I know Gibby Haynes doesn't know why, but it's super funny that, that's kind of like I think everyone knows that about the Butthole Surfers. Like, they're really like one of those, like, fuck the establishment, fuck the record companies, and still have records coming out after that. Never getting blacklisted, like, never being like, well, you're done then. You're never working in Hollywood ever again. Nope. It just, come on.
Well, here's some interesting stuff. I'll start with the ratings. Rolling Stone, 4 out of 5. All Music, 4 out of 5.
Now that's a fucking joke. See, now they're fucking with the Butthole Surfers, and they're like, oh yeah, Gibby? We know what you're up to.
It's genius.
It's genius. No!
So, check this out. However, not all the instruments were played by the band. The piano on Creep in the Cellar, which was written by Haynes, and the organ on Perry were played by the recording studio's owner, who offered free studio time in exchange for being on the album. So he's like, let me play the organ and piano,
we don't really
and you get free studio time. And then also, the violin heard on Creep in the Cellar was a result of the band purchased a used 16 tape track from a country western band that had previously recorded on it, but the stuff was still recorded on it, so they just kept
used it. Yeah. That sounds pretty cool. Throw it in.
Yeah. So it works. They used one of the band's channels, which contained backwards violin tracks, and basically liked it and kept it.
And so did everyone else.
And then
Rolling Stones was genius.
Finally,
it's a goddamn masterpiece.
The growls on Mark Says All Right are from a pit bull, which you mentioned earlier, and that the band had owned at the time, and they named it Mark Firmer from Grand Funk Railroad. They named it after that guy.
Yeah.
And
just like us, Grand Funk fans.
Yeah, Mark. That's why Mark Says All Right, because the dog's named Mark Firmer, and he's barking.
So yeah, you can use it.
I don't know. It's just that just goes to the sense of humor and just the way this band is thinking. It's
and people automatically knew like he was a star right away, and I don't know why. It's crazy.
And they recorded it in San Antonio over a handful of different studios, just over the course of months. It's this experimental, psychedelic, as we're saying, crazy album that you might find some gold on it if you listen to it. You might, according to Rolling Stone, you might find some good shit. So.
I mean, I don't know where you would just put it on and go. I think it's only 33 minutes, so just commit. Just commit.
Yeah. Yep. All right,
and that does it for the anniversary.
That's all
section.
The anniversaries we got for this month.
And now we have some sad things to talk about.
Things. Coming from Billboard, we have one of the founding members of the band War has died, passed away at 71. Morris B.B. Dickerson, the bass player and vocalist for the band. He passed away at Long Beach, California Hospital Friday, April 2nd, which was the day we did the episode. So we couldn't cover that. After a long undisclosed illness. Let's see.
And for anyone out there that's thinking, who the fuck is War? You know who they are. You just maybe never retain their name, but Lowrider. Boom. Like everyone's heard that song, right? Lowrider? What's another one of theirs?
They've got a lot. Let's see.
I love Spill the Wine. I love the Cisco Kid. I love a lot of their songs.
Yeah, Cisco Kid. Their 1973 album, The World is a Ghetto, went to number 1 on the Billboard charts. So
this was definitely the sound back then. It's one of those big bands,
Yes.
Bunch of percussionists, a very cumbia beat,
Yeah, it's got a lot of Latin rhythms.
It's like Latin rock, you know what I mean?
A fun fact, Dickerson was in the band when in 1970 when Jimi Hendrix played with them, and it was Jimi Hendrix's last performance ever.
Of course it was.
So
this band is fucking legendary.
He had the
well.
honor of playing with Jimi Hendrix for his last night. But yeah, again,
or maybe Jimi Hendrix had the honor,
or that too. There you go. He also sang for the band, and his lead vocal is on "The World Is a Ghetto." That's him singing. Yeah, it doesn't say, we don't have a disclosed death, but he started playing at 12, born in 1949.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Just go to them on Spotify, go to War, go to them on Apple Music, and just let it play through. There's not a bad song really in their catalog, and it's...
Why Can't We Be Friends?
This is fucking summertime music. Yeah. This is like having a convertible, driving down fucking Sunset Boulevard, perfect weather type of album. This is great. This is like sitting beside a pool. This is putting on around like a party. No one's going to hate this.
Yeah.
No one's going to hate this. You know what I mean? You can't.
You can't. It's just chill music.
It's just too good. Mm-hmm. And it's super sad that he passed away. Morris, we'll always remember you. And but it was just like, oh yeah, this band. I kind of forgot, Mm-hmm. And now I'm just going back and like, now I'm addicted. You know what I mean? So, and plus it's perfect time because it's springtime. So I'm like, hey, let's roll it, dude.
Get some
warm
War
summer
going.
nights.
Yeah.
Oh man, God, so good. So go listen to some War in honor of B.B. Dickinson.
Dickerson. Dickerson. Yep.
And all right. Well, then moving on to another
recent death.
Right.
Death.
Tech's gonna give it to you.
DMX, famous rapper for a lot of different kind of staple like hip hop songs. He kind of made his own image. This like almost a joke. It's not a joke, and not saying it's funny, but he became so big in his image and iconography. It was like you had people making stand-up bits about it because it was so well known, and just he was such a character.
Yeah, and this was one of wasn't this one of what's his face's like apprentices? Jay-Z's, one of Jay-Z's Padawans.
I'm not sure.
I thought it was like Jay-Z that produced all this stuff. I could be wrong because I'm just not that knowledgeable when it comes to rap. But it's something that I do know a little bit about.
I think it might be a feud, actually. It says here we got a feud when...
but he was one of them.
When they partnered together for Murder, Inc., there was a feud between the two.
Of course, he's hard.
So, yeah. So, yeah, he passed away, unfortunately.
Heart attack. 50 years old.
Had a heart attack. You
guys need to take care of your bodies. Run, good diet.
Yeah.
Don't drink every night.
He said he became addicted to crack when he was 14.
Oh, fuck.
After a friend tricked him into smoking a marijuana cigarette laced with it. And then he also said that he
immediately addicted to crack. Like, these are the stories that fucking adults tell children to be like, don't do drugs. It only takes one time.
Yeah. He also said he had bipolar disorder. He entered rehab several times, 2002, 2017, and 2019.
Just couldn't stop.
And
fuck.
Then,
it just happens if you can't get off of it. You know what I mean? You can't be a rock and roll legend in your 50s. You can't do that type of shit anymore.
Yeah.
You're going to die.
He was also unresponsive at a Ramada Inn parking lot in New York in 2016, but was resuscitated by first responders. Witnesses says he had ingested some sort of substance before collapsing, but they found no illegal substances on the property and stuff like that. He said he was having an asthma attack, and then that moves us into 2021 when he was, on April 2nd, he was rushed to the hospital, White Plains Hospital, where he was reported to be in critical condition following the heart attack, possibly resulting from a drug overdose. But that was the next day when his attorney said he was on life support, and then that same night he suffered a cerebral hypoxia, which is oxygen deprivation to his brain, and they attempted to resuscitate him for 30 minutes, and then that's when he became in a vegetative state with lung and brain failure, no brain activity. That's when then his manager said he was in a comatose, and it was set to go undergo tests to determine his brain functionality. And then from there, the family was going to determine what's best for him. And then that on the morning of April 9th is when he suddenly lost functionality in multiple essential organs like his liver, kidneys, and lungs. And they pronounced him dead shortly after. Then he was 50. So basically his body started to just fail because of his...
Another one dying way too young, in my opinion. 50 is pretty young these days, especially when you're a millionaire and you could have well taken care of yourself.
Multiple Grammy Awards for...
and let's not forget the movie
songs.
Kiss the Dragon.
Yeah, multiple music video awards. Been in, like you said,
he has
a ton of films.
And an iconic sound too, very raspy, deep.
Cradle to the Grave.
Oh, that's what it was called. Fuck me. There was another karate movie. Yeah. Whatever.
But no, I mean he's got a whole
Romeo
list
Must Die.
Films.
That was another one.
Yeah, a whole list of films.
Damn.
Belly. I mean that was a famous album.
Exit Wounds.
Fast and Furious. Look at that.
Damn, I've seen all those movies. I love corny action movies.
Or Fast and Fierce, never mind.
I love fucking corny action movies, so I've seen them all.
Yeah. He was also in that video game, that Def Jam Vendetta, the fighting game where you could fight all the hip hop. He was in that. TV shows, South Park, Chris Rock Show, Mad TV, Jimmy, I mean, he was
an icon.
He was an icon.
Yeah.
So, all hail X Gon' Give It To You.
Yeah.
Where my dog's at.
Yeah. It's, another, just, I don't want to say it's like an excuse, but you listen to it in honor, go out and listen to some of those awesome fucking songs that he had and get all nostalgic with it, if you will, because it just reminds me of like being back in middle school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Super sad. But again, these people are now like, will never be forgotten because of the music that they put out. Will be remembered forever unless nuclear war happens, and then we'll start worrying about if CD players still work. But that's it for us. Go back and listen to all the things that we did. We're trying to keep it as short as possible, but sometimes there's more things to talk about. And
I mean, we've been pretty good with like hour and a half long episodes.
Yeah, yeah. Go follow us on YouTube at
Yes, these are right now, this past 2 episodes we've done, the new format has not been on YouTube.
Oh, fine.
I haven't been putting them because waiting to get a good video element here.
Yeah, video element.
So, I don't know, maybe I'll just put them up with like a
Yeah, with the audio, it's the best.
We'll figure it out, but I do want it
most
to be
of the time
nice.
you won't get commercials in them if it's no picture. Know that? Yeah. Well, so it's about how you upload it. Yeah. So go follow us on BANGover Productions. BANGover Productions at YouTube. BANGover Productions on Spotify. BANGover Productions on Instagram. And if you want to follow us on Facebook, it's BANGover ATX. But we don't check Facebook too often. But YouTube is fine.
I haven't been on Facebook in so long.
Ooh, those notifications are piling up, and that causes anxiety. You might want to get all those little red bubbles to go away on your phone. I don't even want to see what your emails look like.
Oh, that's horrible.
Mine's 6,500, which is...
Oh, it's a lot. Probably like a couple thousand.
10,000?
Oh,
mine was 6.
Probably embarrassing.
Okay, again, I just got Alan. This is Chris Myers. Go ahead and listen to some of these bands and shit, man.
Oh, yeah. Pay homage to all these album anniversaries, new releases, and
my favorite one was The War, and I'm looking forward to the Cannibal Corpse.
All of the War.
All over the place. Yeah, I want to listen to War, and then I'm looking forward to Cannibal Corpse. This is weird. Okay.
This is weird.
But I got tastes. I got hungers. I need to satisfy.
Yes.
This is another way of saying that. All right. Okay. Thank you all for listening, and listen.